Welcome back as we continue our focus on the state of the economy. President Obama's massive and unprecedented economic agenda has promised government reform. But how effective is it? I sat down 101 with one of the nation's top watchdogs. Congressman Cummings, as a senior member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, you have been extremely critical of AIG and the big three automakers.
And they have the nerve to grant some $503 million worth of bonuses.
Has anything changed since your remarks?
Not a lot has changed. But I do think that when President Obama came along, I think he was able to let the AIGs of the world and the banks know that there was a new sheriff in town and that they would have to do things a little different than what they've been doing it.
Where do you think this arrogance, and for lack of better words, to just blatantly spend this money in the ways that they seem fit, getting government funds through TARP, and is there no fear of recourse?
One of the things that I've demanded and that our new president has demanded and many members of Congress is transparency. I think transparency will help everybody. But keep in mind, you asked about the arrogance a little earlier. There have been folks that have taken as much as $25 billion, $15 billion and said, look, after they've taken the government money, and they said, we don't have to tell you what we did with the money. And I think that's what has infuriated members of Congress, and it has infuriated my constituents, and many of them, and I see them every day, many of them have lost their savings, which they'll never get back, by the way, their homes, their health care, and their jobs. And then they see their tax dollars being used to bail out people who not only brought down their companies, but brought down the economy of this country and were partly responsible for bringing down the economy of the world. But they see those people getting bonuses. And they're sitting there with no job and definitely no bonus.
What is the government doing to keep its eye on how the stimulus money is being spent?
I mean, they're watching every dime, and that's one of the reasons why they have now put everything up on their website, and so that in states and on the federal level, people can actually see exactly how that money is being spent.
Let's switch gears and speak about the big three, GM, Ford, Chrysler. GM was the CEO was asked to step down.
Yes.
Is this more of what you want to see happen?
I think they need to be held accountable with regard to basic business standards. If a person is running a company and the company is drowning like it's in quicksand, and they've been there at the head of it for over 25 years, somebody ought to at least ask the question, what is this leadership doing? That's a basic business standard. Not Elijah Cummings' standard, not President Obama's standard, but, is this company making money? Now, when that company then goes and asks the Congress and the people of America to help them, if that leadership is not doing what it's supposed to do, we cannot afford to continue to throw good money after bad. And the only way that President Obama is going to be successful is he's got to show that he is using the Americans' money, people's money, in an effective and efficient manner. And he's got to maintain a level of trust with the American people.
Will you pressure any type of civil or criminal prosecution of these people?
I've said it many times. I think that anybody who misuses government funds ought to meet justice head on. And if it's appropriate, they should go to prison. I believe that. And I've said it in public. I have a fellow on my block. I live in the inner city of Baltimore. He said to me about a month ago, he said, Cummings, look, he said, I stole a $300 bike a few years ago, and I went to jail for 6 months. He said, when I see these people getting millions and billions, but they're not going to jail, they're not even going to trial, they're not even being investigated. And he says, what's up with that? So I just think that
a lot of people are asking that.
Yeah.
So tell us, what's up with that?
Well, I think Again, there are investigations with regard to the bailout money going on as we speak right now. You know, there's no doubt about it. There's some folks that are going to be indicted, and there's some people who are going to go to jail. There are going to be people who are going to pay civil penalties, particularly with this bailout situation. So I think that President Obama has looked at various problems and tried to predict what problems will come up and tried to put in the mechanisms by which to avoid those problems. And I think that's good management.
Congressman Cummings, thank you so much for your time. It was very insightful.
Thank you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.